Well, hello and welcome to the fabulous show. My name is Joy Willett and I am this week's host. This is a show where we explore our fabulous lives with a panel of experts that you're going to love. And this week, we're focusing on finding the joys in parenting. What do you think? Let's talk. Well, hello there. Welcome to the Let's Talk Fabulous show, all of you brilliant, beautiful women here. And I'd like you to go around right now and just say your name and where you're coming in from. Yamilca, let's start with you.
I'm Yamilca Rodriguez, and I'm coming in from Louisville, Kentucky.
Wonderful. Thank you. Julie Ann.
Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Ann Meyer, and I am in from the Pacific Northwest.
Great. Dagmar.
Hello, everyone. Dagmar Fleming tuning in from sunny Dallas in Texas.
Beautiful. And Angela.
I'm Angela Legh, and I'm streaming live from Taos, New Mexico.
Ooh, Taos.
Also sunny.
Wonderful. We've got some beautiful weather. We're coming in from amazing places. And we're going to be discussing about this really kind of a complex, complicated, yet so important topic. And that is about finding joys in how we parent. Right, ladies? That's right. Yay. So I'd like to share a little something by one of you right now. And here we go.
I was asked to do a video on what the joy of parenting means to me. And it made me think about raising my children and where my consciousness was when I was raising my children. And I was so worried about keeping the house clean, doing a good job at my work. And I was less involved in what my children were doing. But the joy of parenting is being present with your children. So if you can let go of what those work demands are or the home demands are and take at least 5 minutes a day to be fully present with your children, then you've tapped in to the joy of parenting. I'm Angela Legh, author of the Bella Santini Chronicles, a children's fairy tale series.
Wow, Angela, that is really, really beautiful and amazing. And I'm going to bring you up front here. And I'd like you to share some of your story. You've got so much that you do, that you've been through. But tell us a little bit about what's important to you about parenting and what you're doing now.
Oh, well, thank you so much, Joy. Children are truly a blessing in our life. And yes, they can be a challenge too. But when you think back from your deathbed, what mattered really, it will never be work. It'll never be your Instagram feed. It'll never be, whether you kept the house clean. It's going to be the relationships that you had. And if you can be present with your children, put your cell phone down and just spend time with your children, then you truly are tapping into one of the joys of raising kids.
That really is true, Angela. And, you've also been doing something very special because of your ability to know this, to really have learned this. It's so complicated to be a parent and to be out there working and making ends meet. And so you're also doing something because you're your kids are grown now, right?
Oh, yeah. My youngest is 35, so I don't really have kids anymore.
So what are you doing now? Because you're doing something really, really beautiful and special for
Thank you.
children as your legacy. This is our legacy series, by the way. And why what we're talking about really fits into the legacy series here on the Fab Show, because we're all leaving a legacy, aren't we? And Angela, tell us a little more about how you're doing that.
Well, my most recent project has been a television show also on E360 called Children's Lives Matter. And that in that show, it's really aimed at parents and giving parents the tools they need to raise kids in a healthy and with having solid, well-balanced emotions. And so when I think about me saying, put down your phone, we did a social media episode. We also, before that, we did an episode on body image and how social media, advertising, the movies, all these different entities really conspire to have our kids have bad ideas about their body image. And when parents understand all the things that go into these images that children see and compare themselves to, they are then equipped to have a good conversation with their kids about, this is a lie. Let me show you that that person doesn't really look like that. So I think it's really important for parents to have that information so they can help their kids stay solid in who they are.
Absolutely. And I want to do something here. There we go. Mic drop. What you just said is so important. So important. And then also, I'm seeing something behind in the background there. Tell us a little bit about what's up there on that shelf that I know is also
Thank you.
That you're helping for our children and their children.
Yeah, that's my book series, the Bella Santini Chronicles. And they have won the Mom's Choice Award and it was the gold medal for each of the books, as well as the Golden Wizard Book Prize for each of the 3 books in the series. And why they won these awards is because they are written so children understand their emotions and know how to deal with emotions. Because underneath all of society's ills is repressed emotions.
Gosh, that's really, really true. So what I'd like to do right now is go to our next panel expert, because we're talking about emotions, and I feel like this is going to really tie in to emotions.
Hi, I am Dagmar Fleming, and today I want to share with you why it is so important to have fur babies in your life and what it feels like. For as long as I remember, I've been surrounded by animals. As soon as I could crawl out of the house, I would go into the streets, pick up any stray dogs and cats and bring them home, and leave my parents perplexed at how they are going to take care of these animals. So my entire life, I've been surrounded by pets, and I love both cats and dogs to make sure that I've got at least one of each. And I must admit, it's been such a rewarding experience. I came to America many, many years ago. I left my family behind, and these animals have been my friends, my family. They've been surrounding me with love and appreciation, and I cannot imagine what my life would look like without them.
Wow, that is so amazing, Dagmar. We're going to have you come up and tell us a little more about this. And this is a side that maybe some folks who know you in the entrepreneurial space, right, don't know about you. So tell us a little bit about being a parent to your fur babies and
Well, thank you, Joy, for having me here. I am so excited to be talking about this subject because sometimes we don't pay enough attention to the fact that our animals are our emotional companions. How many people use pets as a way to receive love and appreciation because they're lonely? Perhaps they don't have family or extended members of their family. So to me, animals are our teachers. And I think we rarely notice the fact that they have this way of pinpointing what's going wrong with our lives. I'll give you an example. My two Sharpays 15 years ago died of cancer. And what many people may not realize is that often dogs will develop a disease that runs in a family in order to teach us a lesson on how to be taking care of ourselves. So during the period of trying to figure out how to protect my animals, I learned so much about holistic living. I learned about what to eat, what not to eat, how to reduce stress in my life. So they've been the biggest givers of this wisdom on how to show up in life to me. And I've been paying attention to my pets and the surrounding ever since. So I just want to encourage everyone to look at your pets as being the companions, providing you with emotional support, but also the wisdom that's coming out from that interaction.
I love that, Dagmar. And I know that probably everyone here on our panel, at least, and in the audience, have very special connections with animals that they either have in their own home or know someone else's fur angel. And, tell us a little bit about who you are. And again, coming back to why your pets, you have a little, no, tell us about who they are. Let's talk about your beautiful babies in your home. Who are they?
Absolutely. I've got a dog named after Star Wars, so he's Jabba the Hutt. I've got a cat named after Sufi poet Rumi. And I also have two squirrels that showed up in my house when they were pregnant, and they've been around for 15 years.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that, Dagmar. Squirrels.
Yeah, well, I'm a magnet for animals. So you ask what I do. I came from a very corporate environment selling construction and mining machinery around the world. But I also was born with unique energy healing abilities that helps me, that allows me to help my client step out of whatever mental or emotional roadblocks that they have in their path. But my soul is very shamanic. So for those of us who believe in incarnations, I've been able to tap into the frequency of earth, of the plant, mineral, and animal kingdom. So animals come to me. They know I can see them. They know I can hear them through telepathic communication. And my animals are always my biggest supporters, but also protectors. So Jabba the Hutt can actually see multidimensionally. He's got a supersensory perception, and he always makes sure that if there's something that I don't notice, he'll bring it to my attention.
Wow, that's like having your own personal bodyguard, right? And there are stories about animals, of course, helping their humans, rescuing. I mean, we have superheroes in our animal kingdoms, and not just cats and dogs, but all different kinds of animals. And so, yeah, we're going to continue on here now. Dagmar, thank you. We're going to all be coming back to you, and where we're going to be blending all of these different kinds of parenting. that are so important in our world. So let's listen to someone else right now.
Hi, my name is Yamilca Rodriguez. And one of the reasons why I find the joy in parenting, I am a stepmother to an amazing boy who has cerebral palsy and autistic and is nonverbal. And when I came into the married my husband, I had already been a stepmother prior. This is my third marriage. But in my second marriage, I also had 3 stepchildren who I held dearly to my heart. And going into this marriage with a really spiritual boy that is nonverbal and that really holds a space in my heart was one of the best things that ever happened to me. So I learned from him every single day. And when he kind of gets into my nerves, I realize that it's not him, that it's me. So he teaches me something every day as well. And I love him with all my heart.
Wow, Yamilca, that is really, really, really amazing. What a story. I mean, and I didn't know that you had all of these other stepkids, also stepchildren, but I do know that your stepson is a very special person. And I forgot that he was basically nonverbal. So tell us a little bit about your journey as a parent, not only a stepmom, and I can imagine that you'd be one of the most beautiful, amazing stepmothers on the planet, right? We have the what do we call stereotype of the wicked stepmother, right? Well, guess what, everyone? I'm sure people who have step parents, a lot of them are absolutely fabulous people that some people actually get along with better with their step parent than actually with their actual parent because of all the stuff in between, right? So tell us a little bit about this beautiful journey, yet I can imagine that it is challenging at times.
Yeah, I call him, I call myself the spiritual mama, and he's my spiritual boy. And, it was interesting going into the marriage with a boy who is nonverbal and, he can't do a lot of things. He can't feed himself. So he can't go to the bathroom. He does need a lot of care. And at the beginning, when we started living together, it was just funny to start to try to understand each other, because obviously he has his way of communicating, and so you really have to pay attention, right? I think it was my job to really try to understand him at a different level and understand he is not like everybody else. He's different. And so you have to figure out the way he wants to be communicated. But he makes me laugh all the time because he wants to make sure that you understand what he needs. So he thinks the microwave is a magical place where food comes out. So when he is hungry, he goes to the microwave and he's like, okay, I'm going to wait here until something magical kind of comes out of here. Because every time we cook all his food, but we put it in the microwave to kind of just keep it there before he eats. And so he just thinks that's the magical place where food comes out. And he takes you to the TV, and if he doesn't like the program, he takes your hand and puts it back on the TV. It's like, change the channel, please. So those are the kind of things you understand. And he loves books, but he likes to tear books. So we have to be very careful with books with him. And so it's just been a really great journey for me in particular. I also have, my brother has 2 children with also disabilities. And my brother-in-law has a boy with disabilities, which we learn he's in very, very not doing very well right now. And we don't know if he's going to be able to make it through this time. And so, I sometimes don't know why, all these connections are there for me. And so I feel like it was my job to really just have like that sensitivity to these children and be, kind of like a spiritual mother to them.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I'm going to play. I have to play. So also, tell us how old your stepson is.
Yeah, he's 29, but he's like a little boy, He's 29 age, but he actually sometimes acts like a 3 or 4 year old.
Wow, that's amazing. And you are also, tell us a little bit about what all the things that you've done, as well as being this incredible fairy stepmother to your son and to the others that you were with. You also have a very involved life, don't you?
Yeah, I do. So I do a lot of things. I have a business in branding, so I help people brand themselves and their business. I also teach at the university. Those are my other children. I love teaching. I have a global group that has a connection with the university here. So they're all from Germany. And so I just did a little, I was a judge for their entrepreneur ideas, and it was just a lot of fun. So I do that. And I also belong to a lot of women's organization that's also very important and dear to my heart. And I'm in the mix of doing a lot of spiritual journey, lots of things with you, Joy, hypnotherapy and timeline therapy and all those amazing things. I also have done Reiki and Ayurveda, and I've studied a lot of different like yoga, and so I love all those things as well.
Well, it sounds like those have all made you all of those beautiful tools in your magic toolkit to go and help, whether it's your stepson, which is a lot more involved in terms of my understanding. And it's just so beautiful having parents like everyone that's here on this panel. You were all selected, and thank you for showing up for the assignment because of how much of a heart you have for the kind of parent that you are. And parents are all different kinds and shapes. So I'd like to introduce you now to our next person here. And someone's headset or speaker is crackling a bit. Just have a little, anyways, here we go.
Hello, my name is Julie Ann Meyer. I am the president of Achieve TV on E360 TV, and I also have my own show called Own Your Wellness. I am so excited to be a part of this panel because you don't have to actually birth children or adopt them in order to be a parent. A lot of people don't realize that at some point we're going to have to parent our parents, and sometimes it's earlier than we expect. So I'm really excited to be able to share my perspective on what it's like to parent the parents.
Wow, Julie Ann, this is an amazing topic, that parenting our parents. And for a lot of people, there's more and more people that I'm hearing about and know personally who are actually doing just that. And it is a complicated, on all levels. And I know you've got a lot of experience on many different levels, don't you? So share a little bit about where you are right now on that journey of parenting the parent, and also who you are too.
Thank you, Joy. I'm so excited to be here today. I've resonated with everybody that has shared so far. And, being a parent isn't always birthing the child yourself. And sometimes why I'm here is to talk about parenting the parents. And in fact, I'm in the Pacific Northwest. I live in California normally, but I'm up here because my dad was recently diagnosed with something. Meanwhile, his situation has not changed, but now there's a diagnosis, and now we can prepare for what's next and what he's going to need to move forward. So there's this element of letting him be a grown man and have that autonomy. Plus, he has his wife, my beautiful stepmother, who takes very, very good care of him and always has, but they still need this additional help. So I'm up here sort of supporting them and letting them get used to this idea of what their life is going to look like moving forward. But I mean, it doesn't always end up like at the end of life. When I was a child, I was actually more of a mother to my mother at that point as well. She was sick and she had a drinking problem. So instead of her mothering me, I was the one that took care of her. So it really, it doesn't matter how old you are to have that mothering instinct or that the parental instinct in taking care of other people. So it's kind of where I am with that right now. It's a beautiful thing if you let it be, because it's just memories and it's just part of life. And I wouldn't change where I am right now for anything in the world. I am so grateful to be able to be an entrepreneur and be able to move up here for a little while and hang out with my parents as long as I can, and just sort of get used to their new normal and help them where they need it, whether they realize it or not. I mean, it's as simple as I washed their car for them. They hadn't washed it in 2 years. So you just never know where people are going to need that help.
Oh, I love that. And I love that you said helping them to get used to the new normal. And when you have a parent who's on that level, and I know your story is very phenomenal because you were a parent. You were the parent to your mom because of her issues, her traumas, correct? So you were always there to be taking care of somebody else, right? And now you're having that blessing to help your father. However, it is a journey that must be have a lot of feelings to it, I would imagine.
With anything, there's times when I'm sad, there's times when I'm joyful. It's the whole gamut. There's never just one thought and one feeling. And I think that people who are in this particular situation or any sort of parenting situation, they're afraid of the shame that they might feel, or being tired because they have to take care of someone. All these things that we think we have this preconceived notion of how it should look like or how it should be, instead of just letting it be. I was watching this movie the other day with my cousin, and one of the things that was happening that I thought was wonderful was they were talking about, instead of making somebody go into my world, I'm going to go into theirs and be there with them. And I just thought that that was so beautiful, because instead of trying to get somebody else to change to fit your narrative, if you just walk into their life and be with them, there's a lot less fighting. There's a lot less strife. There's a lot less just angst. And it can be really beautiful just letting people be who they are and supporting them where they are, versus trying to get them onto, in this case, onto my program and my ideas of what I think is best. So how do I really know?
I had to do that, going into someone else's space. That's really, I mean, for some people, that might be hard though, especially when you're, a working entrepreneur like yourself, or you've got parents who are aging, and you have to stop and you want to come in and know better, right? Just like our parents hopefully felt they knew better when they were raising us. Now, as parenting the parent, it's like you want to, kind of take them in and say, okay, I'm here. However, it takes a lot of surrender and letting go, right, of our own egos in order to do something like that, Julie Ann.
It really does. It's so tricky because it would be so much easier if they were children, because then I could just do what I think is best. But they are they are mature adults and they've lived their entire lives without my input per se. So for me to jump in at the last minute and say this is how you need to do it, it's like walking a tightrope. You just have to be really respectful of people where they are. So maybe I want my parents to get particular items to help them on their journey moving forward, but they're not ready to do that yet. So if they're not ready to do that, then okay, how can that look? I can set it up as much for them in the meantime and let them know where the things are when they're ready to move forward. So it doesn't have to look the way I think it does, but I can still support them and love them, because ultimately all they really need and want is time and attention to be seen and to be heard. So I'm not going to ignore them. And I think too, one more thing that I really love to mention is my dad, like I said, was recently diagnosed, but he's had this for 7 years. And he says, why is everybody treating me different now? Because I have a diagnosis. And it's just so important to see past whatever the label is to who the human is, and treat the human versus the disease or the disability or the lack of something. And I just think that we tend to forget that because we get scared. But if we can breathe into the situation, then we can relax and really be present for whoever it is that we're loving.
Wow, that's deep. That is really deep. And you know, it's like anything in life, right? That we have to breathe, whatever we're doing, whether we're working with our own kids in the context of parenting here, our stepchildren, our fur babies, other people's children, that it's, and anything in life. It's like, I love that, because we really do have to drop everything and say, step into their world. And whether it's even our colleagues. So really, we parent everybody on some level, and we also model on some level how we received it, or the role that, like you, Julie Ann, that we were put into, looking at that. Well, we have these contracts with these beautiful human beings, and sometimes they're little people and sometimes they're big people. And I think, like you said, and for those of us who do have children, like biological children, it's a lot easier on some level to actually be able, because you're in control to a certain time frame, at least until they're teenagers, where you can guide them. A parent, and I'm a parent now, a senior, and I have grown kids and grandkids, for me to relinquish control, in my life as I go forward in years. I mean, that's going to be hard, because, for some of us, we're like, no, I'm the parent, because it's an inbred, function of survival and of taking care of your little ones, even if the little ones are, taller than you are. Okay. So I want to play something. This is going to come into the Legacy series here that the Fabulous Show is running. And this is a very beautiful song that one of the Fabulous Show contributors, his name is Skip Thomas, or we like to call him Poe. He wrote a beautiful song. So I want everyone to just listen to this and watch it. And then we'll talk a little bit about it afterwards. So here we go.
In the quiet moments, when the sun begins to rise, we find the strength within us. In the stories of our lives, not in gold or glory, but in hearts we've touched with grace, in the love we share with others, in each kind and gentle face. Your legacy is the love you leave behind, in the hands you've held and the souls you've helped to find. It's the laughter in the children, the wisdom in the old. It's the light you sparked in others, in the stories that are told. Through the trials and the triumphs, in the battles that we fight, it's the courage and the kindness that will always shine so bright. In the lessons that we teach and the dreams that we inspire, in the way we lift each other higher and higher. Your legacy, it's the love you leave behind, in the hands you held, in the souls you helped to find. It's the laughter in the children, the wisdom in the old. It's the light you sparked in others, in the stories that are told. In the final song you sung, and the curtains drawing near, it's the moments filled with love that will echo year to year. In the footprints on the path that guide the lost and blind, your legacy will live on in the hearts you've left behind. Your legacy is the love you leave behind, in the hands you held, in the souls you helped to find. It's the laughter in the children, the wisdom in the old. It's the light you sparked in others, in the stories that are told. So let's live with open hearts and give with all our might, for the legacy we leave is a beacon in the night, in the echoes of our actions, in the whispers of the wind. Our legacy of love is where it all begins. Our legacy of love is where it all begins.
Your legacy will live on in the hearts you've left behind.
That always gets me. That is a fairly new song that Skip and Poe created. And what did you think about that? How did that speak to you, ladies, in terms of the different ways that we parent, as well as we're really examples? I mean, what is a parent? We're an example of heart, of patience, of guidance to everyone here, aren't we? I mean, even the children that see us in a grocery store, right? Or an older person that we get to, help something, in the supermarket to reach. So we're what is a parent? What is a parent? Let's go around and talk about it. Let's see. I'm going to start, well, Julie Ann, you showed up first, so there you go.
It's kind of funny. Recently, my tagline on my email says, "I'm living my legacy to help others live theirs." And to me, that is really parenting in a nutshell, because how am I helping somebody else be their best selves and live the most life that they can? Because a lot of people just sort of get to the end and realize they weren't paying attention. They weren't paying attention as they were living. And I think that if we can be the example and be something that people can look at, it doesn't matter who it is. It could be our parents, it could be our children, it could be somebody else's children. So I just think it is about helping and seeing people, really genuinely seeing people and helping them be who they are versus who we need them to be.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I am going to ask for Angela to piggyback off of that, or whatever is on your heart to share.
How do you follow that? When I was watching that beautiful, beautiful message, I was just Joy and Dagmar, that I lost everything in a wildfire. And what that fire taught me is that things don't matter. It's only the relationships that you forge. The only thing I ever, thought back and thought, I'm so sad I lost that, were the marks on the wall showing my son's growth. Everything else is replaceable. And so that legacy of love, it says so much. We are here to love. And as I've often said, on your deathbed, you're never going to be thinking about how much you scrolled Instagram or how big your bank account was. None of that is going to matter. It's going to be the relationships. And the top 5 deathbed confessions of, regrets are, I wish someone had told me. I wish I told somebody how much I love them. And so those are the top 2. And then there's 2 other very similar. And it's all about the relationships. So take more time. Just, put the phone down. Take more time and have those face-to-face with your kids, with your spouse, with your parents, with your fur babies. It's really important.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Angela. Again, just beautiful. I've got my Kleenex here, and I usually say to the panelists, get your Kleenex into the audience, because sometimes, and a lot of times, all of these conversations that we're having are made to make us feel something. So thank you, Angela. I'm going to be bringing in somebody about our fur babies, and fur babies don't live as long as us, do they?
I was thinking about this, Joy, that when it comes to animals, they are creating the legacy of love that lives in our hearts. And what I love about our relationship with pets, that more than anything, they teach us how to love. I'll give you an example of my cat. Everyone knows cats are super independent. And my cat is an indoor-outdoor cat, which means he sleeps at home. In the day he leaves, and he comes back on his own terms. And when I first started keeping the cat in the home, he would do the tantrum saying, let me out. I need to go and explore the world. So I had to learn how to love without control, how to love with trust that he will keep coming back to me. Every night I waited by the doggy door and would walk around the neighborhood and call his name. And my good friend reminded me that love does not mean control. Love means allowing people to and animals and circumstances show up in our life out of their voluntarily appreciation of who we are. So to me, that relationship with my cat is daily reminder that I need to love without possession. And even 12 years later, every night I wait for him to come back home to me. But it really is such a powerful message of allowing others to exist in a way that they want to show up, and us appreciating what we love about the person or a fur baby without mandating how they need to participate in our life.
Oh, such golden nuggets here, Dagmar, as with everyone. However, that beautiful example about waiting for your precious baby and, being reminded we have to give up control. With anyone that we're parenting, and I know a lot about kitty witties, and they are very independent, and it can be a harsh lesson. However, letting go of control, and I'm going to bring in Yamilca right now. Thank you, Dagmar, to share that theme too about letting go of control. a little bit?
Yeah, that's really great. I don't only have a stepson, but I have a nephew, a few nephews, and a niece. And my nephew, one of them lives really close, and he was telling his mother that he loved his aunt because she was funny and she played with him. So, I love that piece around letting go of your phone because and just being present to to whatever you're doing with a child, because they really keep that in their heart. And that was for me. I didn't know that that's what he thought, and I was like, wow, how something so small can be so powerful.
Beautiful. I love that. And let's get back to everyone here together. And so we've got a little bit more time. I'd like to have us just kind of go a little bit round robin here. And I'm going to start with Julie Ann about how can we as grown adults, so to speak, even though we have, our kid inside of us, right, our inner child, but how can we make the best use of our time here as a legacy with those around us? And so, Julie Ann, I'd just like everyone to take a couple of, maybe a minute or so to go around. Then we'll have our final closing remarks after that. But how can we really, in this complex, complicated, crazy kind of world we're in right now, that is full of so many moving parts, what's one thing that each of you could do to just make a difference in someone's life? And I love that you also brought up about nieces and nephews too, because a lot of people who haven't had their own children have certainly nieces and nephews too. But Julie Ann, let's start with you.
Thank you, Joy. I think you hit the nail on the head. We have this child inside of us. And I think that, we do have to grow up, but we don't have to grow old. And life doesn't, there's so much that's so serious, and there are so many issues and problems, but that doesn't mean that we can't have fun and enjoy as much of it as we can. And I think that by doing that and being that childlike, full of wonder and curiosity, I wonder what's going to happen next, is a lot more powerful than, oh, geez, what's going to happen? So, just to remind people that it's okay to be silly and fun, even in the hard moments, and especially in the hard moments, because we only get one time in this meat suit. So we might as well make the most of it. And I really think that being that example of reminding people it's okay is a really good way to help them be more present and accept all of their emotions instead of trying to keep away the negative ones.
Ah, love that. With that, I have to go right over to Angela. So Angela, piggybacking off of Julie Ann there about taking care of oneself and accepting all of the emotions.
That's such a great statement. There's so much goodness in this show today. To me, what I've learned in life is that repressing emotion means that it doesn't go away. You have that emotion, it's either becoming buried in your cells, or you express it outward towards someone and you push your pain on them. But it also can express inward into self-rage, self-hatred, self-cutting, self-harming, all kinds of different things. So understanding that emotions are information, they're there to tell us something. And just the thing I teach kids is face your emotions. If you give yourself permission to allow that emotion to flow, it's only going to flow for about 120 seconds. When you disengage your brain and focus only on the feeling, where is it? How deep is it? How wide is it? Is it black? Is it gray? What color? And just give your attention to the feeling, giving yourself permission to feeling it, it'll go. But when your mind starts thinking about the circumstances that brought on that feeling, it will return. And so you do the focused attention on the feeling until it's gone.
Oh, I love that. Beautiful, beautiful tips and a wonderful exercise that our audience can actually start to do right away. Thank you, Angela. I knew I had the right person moving over into your quadrant there. And we're gonna talk with Dagmar now. Dagmar, I'd like you to share what's something that you would like to remind people to do to either take care of their inner child, their parent, their fur baby, you name it, so that there's that legacy that is imprinted wherever you go.
Thank you, Joy. I'd love to continue with this concept of parenting yourself, because I always tell my clients you can only give to somebody that which you possess. So to truly love others, we have to start by learning how to have compassion and self-love. And I usually share this exercise with my clients that says, I love the part of me. And then you can add every aspect of your life that you want to shift out of. So if you feel very critical of yourself, you can start by saying, I love the part of me that needs to criticize myself. Because we want to dissolve whatever is wrong in our lives with this milk and honey approach, instead of fighting it, instead of resisting or creating judgment. So when you start loving various aspects of your existence, you open the door to possibility of something different, if it's negative, or to magnify that which you like. And when we are truly in appreciation of who we are, in love of our strengths and weaknesses, and in appreciation of the turbulent times as much as of the triumphs, we can go into the world and love others in the same way, with full compassion and appreciation of where they are in their journey.
Powerful, powerful stuff, Dagmar. Really powerful about loving ourselves. You know, and all parts of ourselves, right? All those messy parts, right? Which is really what, if you have children in your life, you've got your own kids or you've been around kids, and we are kids, we have that inner child part of ourselves. If we have that criticism and that judgment, it doesn't go very far. So, Yamilca, final words on this topic about what you would like to share in terms of a tip or just some words of beautiful wisdom for
Yeah. So for me, we take ourselves sometimes way too serious. I'm a professor sometimes, and I used to work in corporate and all these things. And the other day I was walking with my friend and she's like, you should go home and do something completely crazy. And I'm like, okay. So it was raining. I took all my clothes off and I ran around the house. I'm like, that was so much fun. And actually it was so funny because my husband was looking at me like, what are you doing? And that was just something that I do recommend everybody, like just do something that you would never do ever, every once in a while. It'll make you laugh. It'll make you let go of any control issues that you have. It'll make you, feel like a child again. It was just really great and freeing.
Beautiful. I love that. Do something crazy. Well, I'm seeing a lot of purple hearts here, and I'm going to share something. This is in honor of our Purple Pen Hearts Club. So take a look at this. Yay. Yay. Oh, you've got a purple heart right there. Awesome. Awesome. It's in honor of someone very dear who's not with us. However, she tends to come in and fly around us. And when we feel her, we have to honor her with the purple hearts. So everyone has done an incredible time really sharing from your heart. And now we just have a few more seconds per person. I'm going to bring you up into up close and personal view here. And I'd like you to say just 20 seconds or less, or whatever is from your heart, so that you can leave us with your wisdom. Julie Ann, I'm going to bring you up here, girlfriend. And we'll start with Yamilca because she showed up first.
All right. So I guess for me, it's just love and light. Just bring
Okay.
in some love and light.
Love and light. I love that. All right. Awesome. Here we go, Julie Ann.
Find the beautiful in the sad.
Wow. Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. Okay. I might have to reach for my Kleenex soon. Oh, dear. Angela, here we go.
Okay, give yourself grace. There is a lot of wisdom that maybe you didn't hear before, and it's okay. If you didn't know it, how could you do it? So just give yourself grace.
Love that. Give yourself grace. Yay. All right. And Dagmar, here you are, darling.
Thank you, Joy. And I'd like to just share that all relationships in our lives are mirrors of what's going on inside us. So pay attention, because if the relationship is beautiful, that means all aspects are aligned. And if there's something that you do not appreciate about the relationship, whether it's with your parent, with your kids, with your neighbors, there's something internally going on that is seeking to be resolved.
Wow, that is absolutely true. Everyone had such a beautiful diamond golden nugget here to share for ourselves, because we're listening to it, right? Everything we say and hear, we're taking it in, and for everyone here. So it has been an incredible honor to have you all here, with all of your different experiences and your different ways that you are finding yourself right now in the present moment, because that's all we have, of parenting and finding the joys in it, right? The joys, even through the sadness, especially while we find grace and while we allow ourselves to take care of ourselves. And then we have it to go and jump around and surprise even ourselves and others by being like a kid also. I love that. So we are going to come to a close now. So thank you all. This has been a wonderful time. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. And I hope that you will tune in next week when we have another wonderful, fabulous show. Thank you, everybody.
I want to say thank you for joining us today and welcome you back next Sunday as we once again are joined by a panel of subject matter experts that will explore and focus in on our fabulous lives. Until next Sunday.